The first animal to sleep beside a human wasn't a pet in the modern sense. There were no collars, no names written on food bowls, and certainly no veterinary clinics. Somewhere, tens of thousands of years ago, a cautious wild creature stepped closer to a campfire than any of its kind had before. On the other side of those flames stood equally curious humans. Neither species could have imagined that this quiet encounter would become one of the most successful partnerships in history. But it raises an intriguing question. Did ancient humans keep animals because they loved them, or because they simply couldn't survive without them? The answer begins long before farms, villages, or civilization itself. For most of human history, animals represented food, danger, or competition. Mammoths provided meat and bones. Deer supplied hides. Wolves threatened children. Lions stalked the same prey humans hunted. Every encounter carried consequences, and survival always came first. Yet one predator gradually became something else: the gray wolf. Scientists believe wolves began approaching human camps at least 15,000 years ago, though some evidence suggests the relationship may stretch back even further. Rather than being captured and tamed overnight, the earliest wolves probably domesticated themselves. The boldest individuals discovered that human camps offered discarded bones and scraps. Those willing to tolerate people gained an easy food source. Humans, in return, gained unexpected benefits. Wolves noticed approaching predators before anyone else. Their hearing and sense of smell extended far beyond human abilities. An alert bark during the night could mean the difference between life and death. Generation after generation, the least aggressive wolves remained closest to people. Slowly, they changed. Their bodies became smaller. Their faces softened. Their behavior grew more cooperative. Eventually, wolves became dogs, not through a single moment of domestication, but through thousands of years of shared evolution. Dogs transformed prehistoric life. They helped track wounded animals across difficult terrain, guarded camps while families slept, and accompanied hunters into forests and open plains. Some researchers believe hunting success increased dramatically once humans and dogs worked together as a team. It was one of history's greatest survival partnerships. But archaeology reveals something unexpected. Ancient graves occasionally contain dogs buried beside humans. One burial discovered in Germany, dating back roughly 14,000 years, held the remains of a man, a woman, and a puppy. Careful analysis suggests the puppy had suffered from a serious illness but survived for weeks longer than it naturally would have. Someone cared for it. Someone fed it. Someone refused to abandon it, even though it could no longer contribute to hunting or protection. That discovery hints at something beyond practicality: compassion. As human societies changed, so did their relationships with animals. Around 12,000 years ago, agriculture spread across many parts of the world. Instead of following migrating herds, people began raising animals close to permanent settlements. Goats were among the earliest. They provided meat, milk, hides, and eventually manure that enriched farmland. Sheep offered wool long before woven fabrics became widespread. Pigs converted food waste into valuable protein. Cattle pulled heavy loads and plowed fields that human muscles alone could never manage. These animals became essential partners in building civilization. Without them, farming on a large scale would have looked very different. Yet not every domesticated animal earned its place through food production. Cats followed another path entirely. When humans began storing grain, rodents quickly appeared. Wild cats naturally hunted those pests, protecting precious food supplies without any training. Humans tolerated the cats because they solved a serious problem. The cats tolerated humans because mice were plentiful. Unlike dogs, cats were never fully controlled. They simply found living alongside people worthwhile. Over time, however, practical coexistence evolved into something deeper. Ancient Egyptian artwork often depicts cats resting comfortably inside homes. Some were given names. Others received elaborate burials. When beloved cats died, families sometimes mourned them openly. Their value extended well beyond catching rodents. Elsewhere, horses transformed transportation itself. Before horses, long-distance travel depended almost entirely on walking or slow-moving pack animals. Domestication allowed people to travel farther, trade more efficiently, communicate across vast territories, and eventually reshape warfare. An animal once hunted for food became one of humanity's greatest companions. Still, survival remained the foundation of most relationships. Chickens produced eggs. Camels crossed deserts. Reindeer carried Arctic communities through frozen landscapes. Llamas transported goods across the Andes. Every region developed partnerships suited to its environment. Human civilization didn't domesticate the same animals everywhere because different landscapes demanded different solutions. Interestingly, domestication changed humans almost as much as it changed animals. Living alongside livestock exposed people to new diseases, forcing immune systems to adapt over generations. Milk consumption influenced human genetics, allowing some populations to digest lactose into adulthood. Farming schedules revolved around breeding seasons, grazing cycles, and animal care. The partnership reshaped biology, culture, and daily life. But where does love fit into this story? For a long time, many historians assumed emotional attachment came much later. Recent discoveries suggest otherwise. Archaeologists have uncovered carefully buried dogs wearing decorative ornaments. Ancient artwork portrays owners embracing animals. Some skeletons reveal healed injuries, proving wounded animals received long-term care despite offering little immediate benefit. These findings are difficult to explain through survival alone. People invested time, food, and energy into animals that had become companions. Modern neuroscience may explain why. Interacting with familiar animals triggers the release of oxytocin, the same hormone strongly associated with trust, bonding, and family relationships. Studies show this response isn't unique to modern pet owners. It likely reflects biological systems shaped over thousands of years of coexistence. In other words, affection may have been part of domestication from the very beginning. Of course, not every relationship was gentle. Many animals were still slaughtered for food, sacrificed during religious ceremonies, or worked until exhaustion. Ancient societies depended heavily on livestock, and practical needs often outweighed emotional ones. Love and necessity weren't opposites. They frequently existed together. A farmer could care deeply for an ox while still depending on it for labor. A shepherd might protect sheep throughout their lives while also raising them for meat and wool. Ancient relationships with animals rarely fit neatly into modern categories. Perhaps that's because humans understood something we sometimes forget. Life depended on cooperation. Whether hunting beside dogs, harvesting crops with oxen, or relying on horses to cross impossible distances, people recognized that survival often required partnerships extending beyond their own species. The bond wasn't built only on affection, nor was it built only on usefulness. It was built on trust. The greatest evidence may be found in the animals themselves. Dogs still instinctively look to humans for guidance. Cats continue choosing our homes despite retaining much of their independence. Horses form powerful social connections with their handlers. These behaviors are living echoes of relationships that began thousands of years ago. So did ancient humans keep animals for survival or for love? The truth is they almost certainly did both. Survival may have opened the door, but companionship kept it open. What began as a practical alliance gradually became something far more meaningful, a relationship that changed the course of human history and left a legacy still visible every time a dog waits faithfully by the door or a cat curls up beside its owner. Long before anyone used the word pet, ancient humans had already discovered that some of the strongest friendships on Earth could exist between different species. The influence of those early relationships is still visible in the archaeological record. Ancient footprints have been discovered with dog tracks walking beside them, preserving a brief moment of companionship frozen in mud thousands of years ago. In other places, animal bones found inside homes suggest certain creatures lived alongside families rather than being kept separately. These discoveries remind us that domestication was never just about changing animals, it also changed people. Sharing daily life with another species encouraged patience, observation, communication, and mutual dependence. What began around prehistoric campfires eventually grew into one of the longest and most successful partnerships in the natural world. continuing unbroken from the Stone Age to the present day.